Coronavirus episode part 2 with me, Chandler Barbie, and the amazing Lois, who you might see on Facebook later. She's sleeping in her anxiety bed. Some of us don't know how a podcast starts, but Chandler Barbie in the house.
I was going to say we're a quarantine. Get it?
Everyone's quarantined.
I said quarantine.
Oh, yeah.
We're a quarantine team. Get it?
So this is just one of the things we're doing to pass the time in LA anyway. The state of stay-at-home quarantine has been extended till May 15th.
I'm going to die.
I just bought an elliptical.
People have babies by the time this gets out.
And we're probably going to get a Peloton.
Wait, did we really just buy an elliptical?
No, I did, not we.
I mean, when did you... Is that what you were doing on your computer?
Well, they got to get back to me.
And I just bought a Frenchie.
So,
got that passed
This
is a dog-friendly...
We're, we're all struggling.
Mentally and physically.
Yeah, I mean, before this, probably hadn't missed a gym day.
Easily a year or two.
Yeah, I mean...
Since I've known you, you've maybe missed one because you were, deathly ill. Because you had the stomach virus and you still went to the gym once.
Yeah, I mean, when I first... I had the stomach virus, and I still went downstairs to the hotel gym, and I would say I haven't gone more than 2 days in a row of the gym in probably 5 to 6 years, even longer.
Yeah, I don't think I went unless when I was in Europe, I was I guess that counts. I was running outside, but this is the longest gym in a very long time.
So. As you guys know, for me, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't smoke weed, I don't take edibles, I do nothing. So the gym is my Prozac, if you will. So, to know that we're going at least another month with the stay-at-home order, and who knows, now I'm hearing June 1st possibly, but nobody knows really.
That's the scary part, though, I think. This is a stupid comparison, but I think the unknown is what scares people the most. Like aliens. Like, if you knew they were real, you wouldn't be freaked out. But the unknown freaks you out. I think it's the same with the corona. I personally have a hypothesis that this is the new norm. That they're brainwashing us into, I think this is the third week, or we're about to go in the fourth week of it.
Oh, we're longer than I would say. 5 weeks ago, I met the Ontario Reign at the Comedy Store, and I think I had one of the last spots at the Comedy Store.
When did I rap Holy Moly? That was the middle of March. So yeah, I guess we're a month in.
So we're a little over a month into this stay-at-home stuff.
This is the make or break week, I think. Mentally, because now it's hit us to where you and I, especially Earl and I, have been really good about trying a routine of we'll go on 10-mile walks and stuff, but now we're even sick. We're not sick of each other, we're just sick of home. We're sick of the walks. We've walked all over Los Angeles, and that's a lot. It's just, I think that they're going back to modern warfare. When you want, the way the military works, the reason boot camps exist and things like that is they break you down mentally. Not only physically, the 4th to 5th week of any boot camp, according to my family, my brothers and stuff, is the hardest, because that's when you're so mentally exhausted that's when you break. And that's the whole point of any military tactic, is to mentally break you so then they can mold you. And I think that this quarantine is mentally fucking breaking everyone right now. To where even with the quarantines up in July, everyone's going to be scared to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, and by the
I'm not
way,
going to go anywhere.
you know, I went to a Kiss concert when they were starting to warn us to avoid crowds. I've made it live, and no, this is not a snuff film, James. My funny comedy.
Is that like a porn?
Yeah, it's where it's like a porn where they kill the person at the end.
What the?
James Pontillo asking that question.
Earl and I might start
To go and then, you know, it's like, you find another show, I guess.
Do you think? Well, see, the other thing too, like I'm on a Discovery show, right? You saw me last year. I was on a plane, a different plane, going to a different country or city every week for months. I can't get, like, there are no flights available right now, and there probably won't be. So my theory is this is going to affect us for longer than a few months. Like, Discovery's not going to pay for a whole crew to go to multiple countries after, especially with celebrities, after this quarantine, because what if he gets sick in another country again and this starts all over?
Fucking.
And like sports.
You know, I mean, you've got the NFL season starts, preseason starts in August, hockey starts in September. But, you know, I think the NHL is trying to figure out a way to squeeze in a playoff run.
What's baseball going to do?
I mean, baseball would probably have to be it would be pretty cool if by, like, July they said, okay, you could go in a stadium or whatever, and baseball just had, like, a 50-game season. That way, for once in baseball, every fucking game would mean something.
Yeah.
That's why football is so great, because, like, if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, or it doesn't really matter what team, but I'm a Steeler guy, if you lose your first 3 games, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like, you have to, like, basically, you know, win 90% of your games going on, because there's only 16 games. So that might be cool in baseball to see, like, a one special season.
How many games are in a season of baseball?
Baseball, normally it's 161, I think.
I knew it was 100 and something. You think I'd know this? I work for Fox Sports.
Might be 162, but like half of the thing that sucks in baseball is that, like, if your team's out of it, you know, 50 games in, you kind of just are like, you know, you don't. What do you do? Like, you know, if your team sucks, you've got 100 more games left, and you know you're not going to win. It's just like your enthusiasm goes down, the attendance drops, unless it's like a Yankees or.
Rank your favorite sports.
I like
top 5.
Hockey, football, UFC, and then, like, I'll watch, like, the Lakers every now and then. You know, I guess baseball and basketball.
In that order?
Yeah. I think the problem is baseball is just too long to get my attention. Like I said, like, I've been an Angels fan for a very long time, and, like, they've been horrible the last few years. Like, so it's just like 30 games into the season, they're already 12 games under 500 or whatever. It's like, oh, this is going to be another shitty season. Like that one game you and I went specifically to see Albert Pujols. Of course, was scratched that game, and Mike Trout.
Yeah.
So you could still go and see individuals, but, like, you know, hockey is, I just still love it more than any other sport because they play with such aggression and, like.
You have such interesting taste to be from LA. Like, you're such an East Coaster.
Well, like I've said many times before, because people always ask me, how the hell did you get into hockey living in Los Angeles and growing up in Bel Air? Because we got the Ranger games on cable.
Yeah.
Because this is at a time where in LA, the Kings were not very popular before Gretzky, even though they had really good teams, but nobody cared. Just nobody cared.
If you could live anywhere besides California, where would you live?
Well, if you said you could do a rewind on your life, and starting from the age of 0, you could be born and raised in another whatever, I would say Canada, because I know I would have been an NHL player.
because I'm the perfect size for an NHL.
Well, why didn't your parents put you in like little?
It just
league?
wasn't hockey wasn't big in California. Like
why in your 20s didn't you move to Canada?
Well, I didn't really enjoy playing until I ball hockey was like my introduction into hockey.
There's still time. You could do it.
No.
I mean, look at this guy that literally, like, he'll probably have beers for the rest of his life for free in Toronto. Was it Toronto?
Oh, yeah, the goal. No, you're talking about the goaltender. But he had played hockey. Like, he was a good goalie. Just not good enough.
You don't know? I mean,
playing the NA. He was not good enough.
Can you skate?
Not really. I used to take lessons, and my skating instructor, who was he trained Olympians in ice skating, not hockey. He's like, Earl, I love you, but you like Mick Jagger walks.
Do you know what's crazy? So
Because I would take steps. I wouldn't glide.
Yeah, you don't know how to.
I would literally step on the ice and push myself forward.
Did you know I've never been ice skating?
But you'd be good at it though, because your legs are short and powerful. Like
I have good balance.
So,
because like I've never been snow skiing because I grew up in the South, but I've been water skiing because I grew up on a lake, and I'm really good at balance because I can wakeboard and water ski. But I feel like I would be good at ice skating because I can rollerblade and roller skate really well because my dad taught me how when I was really young because he used to work at a roller skating rink in the 80s when he was like younger, and that's where he met my mom. So we used to go all the time, and so I can roller skate backwards. I'm terrified to ice skate, like terrified.
it's very tough. I mean,
I'm scared. No, I'm scared if I fall, someone's gonna run over my fingers and cut my fingers off.
well, that could happen. I mean,
that's literally one of my biggest fears.
by the way, John is asking. We're doing a Facebook Live too for you guys just listening on that. What position would I have played? I'm like Ilya Kovalchuk, John. I'm a rover. I could play all over. Unfortunately, there's not a position in hockey called rover. So, but I went skiing probably like 15 times in my life, and I was pretty good at it because I had good balance.
But the thing, and I think that this has to do with sports. Like my older brother, we went to a few good camps that my parents could afford, but him and even Seth, my younger brother that's in the military, they are naturally athletic, like natural athletes. Because my mom played tennis, and my dad played baseball in college. And so my little brother got a swimming scholarship he didn't take because he went in the Air Force. My older brother had a baseball and basketball scholarship, soccer one. And I think I think you're the same way, where if I had tried more at sports, I would have been better. But I'm physically athletic, just like you're built pretty proportionate for a man, that you're like physically. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Speaking of a man, former NHL player right now in the Facebook Live chat, the legendary Roger Maxwell, played with the Boston Bruins, the Long Beach Ice Dogs. It'd take me an hour to name all the teams Roger played for. One of my favorite players has a child. Welcome, Roger. I'm sure you're on an oil rig right now doing your thing, but
oil rigs are hard.
Oh yeah, I mean that's why. But a lot of hockey players in the off season work on rigs, like my Roger does. My friend Curtis Swanson.
You know.
So you're kind of on your own.
And if there's a fire, you're in the middle of the ocean with oil, flammable shit.
Yeah, and by the time the land police or land ambulance comes, you're probably whale bait. Yeah. Robin Tran, Roast Battle's favorite, Robin Tran, who beat me at Clusterfest, you bitch. No, I'm just kidding. Robin and I are homies. Very funny comic. Got an hour special that's out. Robin, let me know how people can find it. And so a lot of people are asking me, what are you and Chandler doing to kill boredom other than watch Ozark? I decided to show Chandler some films from the 80s.
Yeah.
And the first film was a film that means a lot to me to this day because I identify with both lead characters. It's called My Bodyguard.
We kept calling him Big Earl and Little Earl.
Because for those of you who have never seen My Bodyguard, it came out in 1980. It's a story about a kid named Chris Makepeace, who was also in Meatballs, and he was like a very accomplished child actor. He gets bullied in school by Matt Dillon. Yes, the Matt Dillon.
He was so hot in the 80s.
So he hires Adam Baldwin, who's like this gigantic teenager.
Not related to the Baldwin brothers.
No, he actually can act. And Adam Baldwin is like, he should be more famous just because he's a very good actor, but he, like, if you see his face, you're like, okay, I've seen this guy in that, or he was in one of my favorite one-season TV shows ever, called The Inside, which was a show on Fox. Of course, it was on Fox, where it was a female profiler of serial killers, and it was just too dark. If FX would have been around, it would have killed it on FX.
Brian
But
Murphy.
it didn't. Yeah, Brian Murphy got it on FX or FXX. It'd be on like 5 or 6 seasons, but it did not. But Adam Baldwin was in that, and I wanted Chandler to, because Chandler's a big John Hughes fan, and although this is not a John Hughes film, it's got a very John Hughes.
It's that teen 80s vibe.
Yeah, of angst.
Like a coming of age story. John Hughes is all coming of age.
But I really love that movie because that was me in like high school. Chris Makepeace, kind of not a loser, but like you're shy. You're not really the hippest dude in school.
Loser, you told me you were popular.
Well, I was class clown popular.
Did you get a superlative? Like most likely to type of thing?
I don't think it was most likely to be a comedian, but it was something along the lines of most likely to make someone laugh, or
that's what I got.
Something. But I also identified with Adam Baldwin's character, who was just like this quiet giant. Because I've said this, I'm not that big of a guy now. I'm like maybe 6'2", 200 pounds. But I've literally been this size since the 4th grade.
There's pictures of you in your baby crib when you're like 3 and you're literally the size of your mom.
And one the film is My Bodyguard. It's on Amazon. It's like $3 to rent or something.
Yeah, really good though. It's cute.
And it's got Ruth Gordon, my mom. She's like a legendary actress, but like anyone that's probably 50 and under would recognize her as the mom, Clint Eastwood's mom, in the 2 orangutan movies he did, Any Which Way But Loose and Every Which Way You Can.
Any Which Way But Loose.
So, but it's a really good movie, and it's does it stand up in 2020? I mean, it's 40 years old, so it's a little
cheesy.
Yeah, it's 80s cheese, but if you consider the movie was probably made in 79, released in 80, it holds up pretty good. I mean, put it this way, all the people look like they were in high school.
Do you want me to name your doppelgangers from movies?
But it was also, while we're on the subject of My Bodyguard, Joan Cusack's first film. John Cusack's sister.
Was that her first film, or was 16 Candles?
Oh, that's 16 Candles was like 4 years later.
Oh.
And Jennifer Beals had, from Flashdance and many TV shows and movies. She was in the movie. She was like Me and I'm Dying Up Here. She was in like a lot of the scenes, but didn't have any lines. That was her first movie as well. So, hey, you take it. Al Sims in the motherfucking house. So, who is my doppelganger?
Okay, here's your doppelgangers. The kid from My Bodyguard, both of them, Adam Baldwin and the other one. What's the guy's name in Thief?
Oh, James Caan.
James Caan in Thief.
Also in 1980.
I think you look exactly like him. Like, a little different in the eyes, but that's number one doppelganger.
He's a little hairier than I am. If you've ever seen James Caan without his shirt on, he's very hairy. He's got like the sweater hair. But he also my neighbor growing up in Bel Air. So
And then I think Robert De Niro in Casino.
yeah,
And I also think there's two more. Ben Affleck and Bill Hader in It Too. Not in any other, but in It Too. Bill Hader.
well, I really get Ben Affleck in Boiler Room, which is kind of a independent, small budget film where he played the.
Fun fact: my old boss who did that movie produced it.
I love Boiler Room. I wish it were bigger. Jeremy Paul, there's no subject right now. We're just talking about 80s movies.
Doppelgangers.
You know, who I look like. But if you watch Boiler Room in the one, I think it's one of the two scenes Ben Affleck was in, you know, it was a bit of a scam. They put his name first in the movie poster, but he was in like two scenes.
That's how you do it, man.
Yeah, I get it.
Hollywood.
It's like Steven Seagal, great examples of putting someone's name in the front of the credits, but they really weren't in the movie that much. As if you've ever seen the Kurt Russell movie, Executive Decision, Steven Seagal's name is first on the movie poster and the credits, but he was literally killed 5 minutes into the film. Some might say it's his best movie. Because apparently, that's an interesting movie in terms of how they made it, because if you watch that movie, and I know you haven't seen it yet, but John Leguizamo has a lot of the lines, and it didn't really make sense because he was just like basically a sixth character on the rescue team.
Did you pay for the movie?
No, apparently Seagal was supposed to be that guy, and he was such a dick that they said, "You're out. We're gonna kill you." You know.
Oh shit.
So if you've ever watched Executive Decision, and it's on a fair amount, it's like a guilty pleasure movie. You know, it's the typical Arab, and it was made before 9/11, so it kind of is a little spooky. But it's Arab terrorist. You know, they take over a plane. Kurt Russell sends a SEAL team on board mid-flight, which is a little unbelievable, but it's a Joel Silver movie.
Joel Silver also is, so my boss, who I was the original assistant for, who's a producer when I was younger, she was Joel Silver's assistant. Joel Silver is like the worst person on the face of the earth and had two assistants commit suicide.
By the way, Joel Silver, I'm a fan, so the views...
I mean, no doubt he makes good movies, but he's a fucking asshole.
The views of Chandler Barbie are hers and hers alone. Because
it's not views, it's facts.
Well, I've been trying to get you on the podcast. I'm assuming Joel Silver...
Really?
Well, he made...
I could 100% probably pull that off for you.
Joel Silver made The Warriors with Walter Hill.
This is so funny.
And I want to say he was a off the books producer director on my favorite war movie of all time, and I know people are going to be like, what, Apocalypse Now, Platoon. I like off the board selections. Saving Private Ryan, Hamburger Hill. My favorite war movie is a Gene Hackman movie. I love Gene Hackman. It pains me that he's most likely going to die soon, just because he's literally I think he's 89 years old. He's retired from acting, which is you see all the shit.
That Willy Wonka?
No, that's Wilder.
Oh, okay.
But Gene Hackman's Poseidon Adventure, French Connection, But he did a movie in 1983. It was Patrick Swayze's first film, I believe.
Yum.
I don't count Grease because he was an extra in Grease.
Patrick Swayze was in Grease?
If you watch the dance scene, it's kind of like Jennifer Beals in My Bodyguard. There's the scene where they sing Grease Lightning. Mm-hmm. Go Grease Lightning. You're burning up the quarter mile. Grease Lightning, go Grease Lightning. Patrick Swayze's one of the dancers in that scene.
How funny is that? And then he got Dirty Dancing.
Right.
Ooh, he was so hot. R.I.P., man.
So it was his first, I think, feature, where he was in a movie. Tex Cobb, my favorite boxer of all time.
She's like the wind. Sorry.
He's in the movie. Fred Ward, great character actor. Red Brown.
I don't know who any of these people
For those,
are.
you know who Tex Cobb is, the guy
I know who Tex Cobb is because we watched the
Raising Arizona.
wrestling thing. Yeah, in Raising Arizona.
He's a great character actor, although I don't know if he acts anymore. He first became famous by taking on the heavyweight champ at the time, Larry Holmes, literally not throwing a single punch the whole fight. It was like Rocky. He wanted to see if he could last against the champ. And he got beaten up so badly that Howard Cosell quit announcing fighting because he said, I can't take this. And then he became an actor. It's called Uncommon Valor. So, I love me some Gene Hackman, Robert Stax, and it's a great cast. But Joel Silver was like off the books, I think, helping with that movie.
Well, Joel Silver made everything happen in the 80s, so it makes sense.
But in Executive Decision, he, it's like a wacky terrorist, Kurt Russell saves the day. But apparently Seagal was so out of control that they killed him and gave it, like, his lines to John Leguizamo, which it didn't really, like...
Makes sense.
It didn't add up. You're like, why is this guy, who's, like, fifth guy on this rescue team, having all these great lines? And then, that's the wonderful...
Good for him, though.
Well, it kind of reminded... I'm a fan of how certain films are made. Like, I'm going to try and get you to sit through The Game of Death, which is... I don't think you would like the movie per se, but as a producer, director, writer, a creator of content such as you, that was the movie that Bruce Lee died filming.
Oh,
but,
yeah, I've heard about it.
So, like, they were filming this in 1973. I think it was after Enter the Dragon, which was like the Star Wars of karate movies. Death was the next movie. He dies 10 minutes into filming it. So all I have in Game of Death is 10 minutes of Bruce Lee. Someone wanting to make a buck off of his death in 1979 says, let's finish the movie. And it's like, well, how are you going to finish it with 10, And so they hired someone who looked like Bruce Lee. They had cardboard cutouts of Bruce Lee's face. They had all these elaborate, for the time, methods of... And they finished the movie.
That's common. I was on... Ooh, it was tough for like a year for me in film because I was on Fast 7 when...
Paul Walker?
Yeah, Paul Walker died. Then I was on Hunger Games when... what's his face died? Of an overdose. I'm blanking on his name.
Heath Ledger?
No. Philip Seymour Hoffman. We were in the middle of filming when he died. And then I did Alice in Wonderland the next year that Rickman died on.
Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
From Die Hard and many other things.
Yeah. And I remember when Alan Rickman died, I was in the car with my boss. And she like gets a call and she finds out. And then her first words after that was... Fuck, how are we going to finish the movie?
Well, I'm getting a question from my friend Cara, who I took to her prom. She is asking how old my guest is. She's 27, Cara. I'm not Jerry Sandusky here. She just, when she has no makeup on, she looks incredibly young. But unlike some of my LA comedy comrades, Chandler is above 18. So thank you for the question.
You took this girl to prom?
Yeah. So, and we had a good time, and I think, I'm not sure what happened to her. I'm sure I was like 7th on the list of potential prom dates, but Cara and I worked at the Sports Connection in Santa Monica. Thank you very much.
You had a job in high school?
Well, this was like 91, 92-ish.
So you took a high schooler to prom and you were out of school?
Yeah, man.
Ugh,
I mean,
scandalous.
This was, but Cara and I are still homies to this. I'm sorry for being such a bad prom date, but we're still friends. We're still alive. But getting back to Game of Death, one of the 10 minutes of fight scenes, the whole point of the movie was Bruce Lee, he's a karate guy.
Yeah.
And he wanted to prove karate was like the best art form. So he had this elaborate fight scene where he walks up a 5-story building.
Yeah.
And each story is a different fighting art. So the first guy is nunchucks. The second guy is like more of a wrestler. The third guy is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and they have a great fight scene with Kareem, who's 7'2".
And this is a guy that's not Bruce Lee.
No, this is the 10 minutes that they had.
Oh, okay.
So the rest of the film is cardboard cutouts, he died of a brain aneurysm, but there was there's all, it's like Elvis. They have conspiracy theories.
How do you think you're gonna die?
I don't know. I mean, my heart's in good shape. Who knows? I don't think about it really, to be honest with you. I don't want to know. So, in LA, I'd probably say a car crash, just the way these animals drive here. Game of Death's another movie. Might be a good quarantine movie for us to see.
Did you finish Drive?
I did. And Chandler Chandler wanted me to watch Drive.
Yeah, I was watching it, and then you got interested halfway through, so you kind of watched it out of order. But
well, I rewatched it from the beginning, and it's
because you love Michael Mann.
I'm a huge Michael Mann guy.
And I like Michael Mann, but my favorite director is Nicholas Refn, whose inspiration is Michael Mann. So I like my generation's version of Michael Mann. He shoots at night. He's a very neon lights director, and the interesting thing is he's colorblind. So it's cool how he shoots all in neon lights, but he's colorblind. He can't see.
Yeah, and if you know, which is the cool thing that young directors like Michael Mann, I'm sure liked someone before him, and
it's because a lot of people gave Todd Phillips shit saying he was copying Michael Mann. Christopher Nolan copied directors too for Dark Knight, but I don't think there's anything wrong with new directors paying tribute to old directors because that's the style you like. You just have to make it your own. Because Quentin Tarantino copies so many directors from the old westerns, but he makes it his own,
Well, everyone copies from everyone, whether you're a director.
There's not that many styles of movies out there.
Yeah, I mean, whether you're a director, or comic, I would say I kind of resemble Robert Schimmel, Stephen Wright, Mitch Hedberg, little Jeselnik. I'm not copying them, but it's just you're influenced by them.
It's a niche.
Yeah, yeah. You have Chandler is a very talented UCB improver. Mm-hmm. Her name's Chandler, Cara. But I'm sure you're influenced by.
Yeah, I'm very I've been told that my style is very Aubrey Plaza. I get Kristen Wiig occasionally, but it's just your style. Radner, I was obsessed with her growing up, so I think it plays a part in how you do your comedy. But I also feel like when you have a certain, vibe to your art, it's good that people, because when I sell a show, when we go in a meeting or something, it's always good for me to say, this is something people haven't seen. It's like this and this put together. Because then it lets you, if you like those two things, you're going to be like, oh, then I would like that. So I think for you to build a good fan base, you need to be a mixture of who you like, so that their fans will like you. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I mean it goes especially in music,
I feel like most people who like you probably like Anthony Jeselnik.
Yeah, I mean I'm like a dumber version of him, and I don't mean that isn't me, but
you're like Mark Maron mixed with Anthony Jeselnik,
right? But I'm not ripping them off. I'm just I watched them. Jeselnik was the last special I ever watched, or not ever, but Jeselnik's last one I've watched from beginning to end. I was like, at first I had it on as background noise, and then I was like, wow, this is really good. And then I watched the whole thing. And Robert Schimmel is a big influence on me, and or younger people probably have never heard of him, which is really bad. But Geraldo is another one. Like, and then I go way back with like Don Rickles, and, the golden age of roasting. Jeff Ross was probably influenced by Don Rickles. So, I mean, music, it's just equally as evident. Like,
well, Lady Gaga is influenced by Madonna, and
but if you look
Jagger, and Harry Styles is influenced by Fleetwood Mac, and
yeah, I mean, if you look at Lady Gaga, and then you look at this 1980s band Missing Persons, where
what makes a person is influenced by, meaning I'm influenced by this type of fashion, this type and this type of music. They're all very different, but they make me unique. And like my best friend's Gabby, we have similar tastes in music, we have similar taste in comedy, but we have completely different taste in fashion. So that's why she's different, Like I don't know what I'm saying.
No, I mean, I try and dress right now like all 4 members of the Killers.
Yeah.
Like, I love Brandon, the singer. Like Brandon, like I know him. The singer from the Killers dresses usually in all black.
I think you're like me, where you go through like phases.
Yeah, or like, I mean, but point is, we all rip each other off, like, or borrow influence. Of course, I'll talk about, my favorite boy band of all time, the Click Five. If you listen to a Click Five song, and I know Cara, I might be talking your business right now. They were obviously influenced by the Cars, and a little bit of Kiss, and Eleanor Kerrigan's watching Dice Clay.
Eleanor.
Well, speaking of like being influenced, how many she opens up for Dice in comedy? That is, hey, how many comics have been influence on pretty much every comedy store. In Canada.
Well, that's just like Bill Murray was one of the first that was on SNL and was a great. Went on to do big movies, and then flipped over and was doing very serious roles. So it showed so many sketch and improv comedic actors that you can do serious roles too.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love Bill Murray.
Big influence.
Caddyshack.
Apparently.
Well, that's why I never want to meet anyone I like. But I mean, sometimes you meet them and it works out. Like, I've become bizarre friends with the singer from Bowling for Soup, Jared, and the guy can't be any nicer. Stephen Piercy from Rat can't be any nicer.
Well, that's like I grew up watching Joel McHale on The Soup, and I loved his because I have very sarcastic asshole humor, very dry and witty humor, and that's what he is. And I always was afraid to meet him because I thought he was like his character, but he's so nice, and so we get along really well because we're very similar in comedy style.
Yeah, and then of course you meet some. I certainly met comics that I liked. I was like, oh man, what a bummer.
That's how I felt when I met you.
But I love me. Anyone who meets Earl is very.
Some of your fans don't love me. They're mean to me.
Well, some fans, they just like the band or the comic they like. How many times have I gone to see Kiss and there was a great opening band? I mean, they were really good. It was like, I want to see Kiss, man. No offense, guys, but let's wrap it up. And
are you saying I'm the opening band to Kiss?
Let's see the bombs and explosions. Like my comedy fans are like, oh, she's great, but we want Earl.
What the fuck?
I'm just telling you what they think, and then your fans.
And so when they tweet, when I'm tweeting to my they tweet to me, "Shut up, child bride."
But your TikTok fans, your Chandler's, for those of you listening, hopefully it's a lot in the thousands. Chandler's on TikTok with Chan Barbie.
Yeah,
that's
name.
BAR. Her fans probably are like, why is this old guy talking so much? Shut up, we want to hear Chandler.
Yeah,
so it works out.
I'm on TikTok right now. Say hi to my fan.
Yeah, Chandler's on TikTok right now. I'm on Facebook Live. The Facebook Live off soon. So, if you guys watch it all on Facebook, you're not going to listen to it on Apple Podcasts.
Or
So
Spotify.
yeah, our Spotify. I don't think I'm on Spotify.
Oh.
Our SoundCloud. You know, some people the Steve Jobs corporate. I mean,
Fat Daddy House.
well, I think someone reported me for a music violation, which I only do the one song, Stevie Rochelle's band Tough, the song Forever Yours. He's given me the permission. But, I was number 8 one day in iTunes Comedy, and then I haven't been on the charts since. So, oh my, I got several of my old employees in Facebook Live chat right now. Cezanne Yomazo used to be my roommate.
They were your employees?
We were coworkers.
Oh.
Cezanne was my roommate at the Century City pad. And then she got married to Jason.
You lived with a...
Yeah, it was strictly platonic. She never saw my pee-pee, and I never saw any of her areas. So, we're going to cut the Facebook Live now. So, if you like this, and I know you guys, there's like 20 people right now listening. Tomorrow, you got to listen on an Apple podcast. So, I love you all.
Don't
Cara.
worry, I'm 27.
Yeah, Chandler's of age. And a lot of people are worried about... the age difference, I'm 51, she's 27, but, listen, I'm like Ric Flair. We're both like Space Mountain at Disneyland. The oldest ride in the park with the longest line, baby. So,
And I'm like Space Mountain in that it's a fun roller coaster, but you're always in the dark when I'm going to drop.
Yeah, and you'll probably sit in gum at some point. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the movie, the second movie Chandler and I watched, the 80s, Craig Sheffer, who's the...
He was hot. He was so hot.
The 80s bad guy in a lot of films, Some Kind of Wonderful. I made Chandler watch Fire with Fire, which is another angst 80s movie, and I hope you like it.